So today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today, I'm going to be doing a ranking of the Castlevania theme songs. Now, this is not a thing I'm going to be doing regularly. This is just something that I plan on doing every once in a while. You can expect something like this to happen every now and then, but I'm probably going to go back to the memes low-key. But first, I'm going to lay down some ground rules. Rule number 1, it has to be a Belmont. No a la carte, no summer cruise, nothing like that. Belmonts. Rule number 2, it has to be a canon Belmont. So no Sonia Belmont. None of her. Canon Belmonts only. And number 3, I will only be rating theme songs from the first appearances they made. That can be credits during the game. It doesn't matter. If it appeared in its first game, which obviously it did, it will be shown here. That's what I'm ranking. No Smash remixes, none of that. So without further ado, let's do this. Number 7, Simon's theme from Super Castlevania 4. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't this a classic in the series? Isn't this hailed as one of the best Belmont themes ever? Like, if you look at other lists online, this places pretty highly, and I have it on the last place. Well, yes, although I like this theme, I like all of these themes, it pains me to say that this one is the most dull out of all of them. It works decently as a hero theme, yes, but when it comes to hyping you up, it just doesn't do that. Like I said, it's very dull and it's very bland, and it doesn't really have much oomph like the other Belmont's themes. And speaking of which, compared to the other Belmont themes on this list, it just fails in comparison. Number 6, Juste Belmont's Successor of Fate from Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. Now originally, I put Julius Belmont's at number 6, but I just feel like Juste's fits more of this. Although it sounds really good, the problem with it is its hype factor isn't that high. If I had to put it anywhere on the hype factor tier list, it would be probably like C or something. It's not very hype at all. It works decently as a hero theme, as the hero's theme as well, but once again, it just comes off as not as oomphy as some of the other Belmont's themes on this list. Number 5, Julius Belmont's theme, Heart of Fire / Cannot Wait Until Night from Haunted Castle and Aria of Sorrow. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. Did this motherfucker just say from Haunted Castle? Yes. This is actually 2 theme songs mashed into one to make Julius's theme. And I believe that it was Can't Wait Until Night, I think, is what the one song was called, and then they mashed it with Heart of Fire to make this song, which they used in Aria of Sorrow. And speaking of which, I really like this theme song. It sounds good. It sounds really, really good, and it has a very big hype factor towards the beginning of the song. But later, the more the song goes on, the less it actually sounds, well, hype. And when it comes to being a good heroic theme, it also places pretty well there too, which is exactly why I decided to switch Juste and Julius's themes around. And compared to all the other Belmont's themes, once again, it just doesn't do nearly as well, despite how good and renowned this theme song is. Number 4, Christopher Belmont's theme, Battle of the Holy from Castlevania The Adventure. Now this one places this high on the list because it is really fucking groovy. Like, are you hearing this shit in the background right now? It is groovy as fuck. And also, it does a pretty decent job at hyping you up. Its hype factor never really goes down. It doesn't really go up, but it never really goes down. And when it comes to being a heroic theme, to introduce you to this Belmont, since, Castlevania doesn't really do dialogue that often. It introduces you to the characters through the gameplay and music like other games, but just without dialogue. Sometimes it has dialogue, but back on topic. It does a pretty decent job at being very heroic. It's groovy. You really just enjoy listening to it and playing the game to the song, the level that it appears. Number 3, Trevor Belmont's theme, Beginning, from Castlevania 3. Now we're getting to the big boys. Now we're getting to the songs that get you moving by yourself, like the Pied Piper is using his weird flute thing. If you get that reference, we can be friends. But back on topic, we're onto the big boy ones. We're onto the top 3. And Beginning from Castlevania 3, it's just, you hear it so much, because there are so many remixes and versions of this song. That's how good it is. It works really well as a beginning theme song, which is why it's called Beginning. And it's very, heroic. It gets you pumped, it gets you hyped, it sounds nice as fuck. And also, this is a bit of a side rant. I remember playing Rondo of Blood and being stuck on stage 4 for 12 fucking years. It took 4 or 5 hours one night, and I still didn't beat it. I beat it the next night. I had to leave, it was taking so long. And this song was playing, so every time I hear that version of this theme song, it gives me fucking PTSD. But now we're on to the big boys. So next is Leon Belmont's theme, Lament of Innocence, from Castlevania, Lament of Innocence. Now most motherfuckers would be like, yo, did this man really just put Lament of Innocence above fucking Julius Belmont's theme? Yes, I did. This song is groovy as hell. You cannot tell me that this song isn't groovy as fuck. It works perfectly as a heroic theme, sounds absolutely fucking incredible, and works perfectly as a theme song. I would not choose any other song in Castlevania to represent the beginning of where it all began in Castlevania, Leon Belmont. It is perfect. Number 1, Richter Belmont's theme, Divine Bloodlines, from Castlevania, Rondo of Blood. This one is arguably the best theme song for any character in all of Castlevania. This theme song is really fucking heroic. When you hear it, you think, this is definitely the song of a hero, which works perfectly with how kind and heroic our boy Richter Belmont is. It's groovy as hell. It's really, really hype, and you can't help but continue to just listen to it. Some of the other theme songs, you just kind of like listening to the beginning, but this one, you just like listening to all the way through, because it's just one of those theme songs that sounds damn well perfect. It makes you also it makes you think of how Richter thinks of the good in humanity, not sees the evil in it like Dracula does. But you think of how this is the polar opposite of Dracula. Someone who sees the good in humanity is willing to fight and die for that goodness. Which is exactly why it places number 1 on this list, hands down. Even if I rearranged every single other placement on this list, Divine Bloodlines would probably be number 1 every single time. And that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it, because this isn't the type of content that I normally do, and I'm not going to continue to do stuff like this really ever. I'm probably going to make a couple of episodes like this, maybe some Devil May Cry, or maybe Dragon Ball or anime or something like that. But this isn't definitely going to be a normal thing. I'm probably going to go back to the meme stuff soon. So it's been me, Richter. Like, subscribe, whatever. Do whatever the fuck you want to. I'm out in this bitch. Peace.